Today, I'm answering the question, should you be tracking your nutrition? Should everyone be doing it? Is this something that is worthwhile? I know for many of you as nutrition coaches, if people had better control over um, the total amount of food they're eating, where that food was coming from in terms of macronutrients, they would do a much better job in terms of getting results and managing the things that matter. But they don't always do it, and they don't always do it in a way that is like helpful for them. So today I want to break down the pros and cons of tracking your nutrition and getting objective with the key things that matter, and how to present it to your clients in a way that they'll understand, in a way that they'll be able to apply and implement. It's one thing for us to, you know what we need to be doing and to tell people what they need to be doing, but to do it in a way that they actually understand, and take that next step and kind of go from there. This is going to be a shorter live today. I only got, a few minutes here, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, tune in, like if you're watching the replay, by all means, drop a comment and let me know what you're thinking and how you approach this stuff. In my own personal experience, having done, a PhD in human nutrition, multiple certifications, there's a bunch of ways to approach your own nutrition, approach your own, how you like coach people and coach others. There's a bunch of ways of doing it. And I am firmly of the belief that a bunch of different ways work and a bunch of different things work. If we think about like restrictive diets or rule-based diets, there's pros and cons of those, right? A restrictive diet, it's basically like black and white around what you can eat and what you shouldn't eat, it makes it easier to follow in a shorter period of time, right? If I know I can no longer eat carbohydrates in general, and I'm just eating like protein, I'm just eating meat, or the carnivore diet where it's like just animal-based products, like that does make it pretty black and white and easy to follow at the beginning. Sometimes life gets in the way and it's harder to follow. Maybe I can't sustain it because I like other things and that type of stuff. But there's pros and cons of that type of approach. The cons would be it's harder to follow, maybe not necessary. It's not going to allow you to do social eating and that type of stuff. So those things work for a reason, right? Maybe something more habit-based in terms of how you approach your nutrition or your coaching, where it's like, if I just got people to get in the habit of preparing all of their own food themselves or most of it, and they took care of their sleep and did all this stuff, they would be in a better place. The con of that, let's say you eat 20 grams of protein every time you eat and get in the habit of doing that. The issue with some of the behavioral stuff is that at times it doesn't, hi Emily, thanks for tuning in, it doesn't always add up to what people need to be doing to reach their goals. It's like they could be doing the right things. You could be putting a financial habit in place to save money, but that doesn't mean that the checks and balances around your overall budget dictate that you're going to get results, right? It's like you could be doing the right things, but it could be wrong in the sense of it doesn't always add up. It isn't always applied to what someone needs to be doing overall to reach their goals. And that's why I love tracking so much. I used to eat quote unquote healthy, right? I used to know what I need to be doing. I used to do this and not do that. I knew all these things, but I never got a six pack until I started applying the objective side of nutrition and made sure that, the total amount of food I was eating was, in line with the, a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus to gain muscle. Like none of that stuff actually really worked until I had control over longer periods of time of the objective things, the total amount of calories I was eating enough protein by tracking the total amount of protein I was eating over the course of the day and doing that consistently. And when I did all that stuff, it made a huge difference. Like night and day. Within 8 weeks, 12 weeks, I was getting great results. My performance in the gym improved because I was finally controlling for the things that mattered the most within my nutrition. And that's why I'm such a big proponent of tracking, because that allows us to control that stuff. And it makes it a lot easier from a coaching perspective as well, right? You can now look on a daily basis what someone's doing and provide feedback around, hey, we set up these targets for you. Where are you coming short? Where do you need to improve? What are some of the things that you can do to get closer to those numbers that fall in line with your goals? And that's where people really start to see great results. Emily says, I'm always 30 grams less of protein by the end of the day, but at least get up to 100 consistently. Amazing. So maybe, honestly, maybe the target is just needs to be 110 and you work on increasing your serving sizes. You don't know any of those things, Emily, until you're more objective about the process, right? And you can have control over it. But that's a great example of why tracking is important, because you can't manage what you don't measure, right? Over time, the one thing is that, some of the cons of tracking is you become too reliant on the numbers and maybe you're less in tune with what your body needs and what you're doing. But if we approach this with the best of both worlds in terms of staying in tune with what our body needs and benefiting from tracking the numbers and following the numbers, we get the best of both worlds, right? Obviously, when someone becomes too consumed with the numbers, it can become problematic, but I think we really got to view tracking as a tool while benefiting from some of the other things like habit-based stuff and that type of stuff to get where we're going and kind of go from there. Tracking is one of the best things you can do for your overall nutrition. It allows you to learn more about the food that you eat, how it makes you feel, and is one of the best way to get results. There are by all means, there are cons to it, but if you're a nutrition coach or someone looking to get healthier, it's definitely something that I would encourage you to do. If you have any questions about how do I get people tracking, what does that look like, by all means, drop a question in the comments and I'll get back to it later. I got to pop off now. We have a Dr. Mark Method call, live call. We have 5 live calls every week in our program, our 90-day certification program. So if you like this type of content and talking to a mentor and someone helping you apply this stuff, ask them more about the actual program. You should check out the program waitlist, because we're going to be opening up more availability in the program come this fall. So if it's something that you're interested in, get on the wait list. I will drop that in the chat and you can check it out as well. You can learn more about how we approach nutrition coaching and how it can help you take your passion for nutrition, turn it into a business that helps you help people. Check it out there. If you're watching the replay, ask some questions and we'll go from there. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.